and welcome to Light for Life. If you are returning to our channel, thank you. We value and appreciate you. Our aim is to shine a bright light on your inner splendor and assist to connect you to your magnificence via what we intend to be enlightened sharing, potentially educational and hopefully entertaining information, as well as encouragement for new perspectives. If you are new here, you are most welcome. We do hope that you will find our content highly beneficial and enjoyable. I am Liss. I'm a Science of Mind practitioner and a teacher of various healing modalities applicable to all aspects of the self and this life.
And I am Lori. I am a holistic wellness researcher and educator. Welcome to Connections with Liss and Lori. We use this space to offer our perspective regarding multiple different topics that we certainly hope you find inspiring. Today, we are talking about water. Water. And what does water mean? Not just in our bodies, in our cells, and in our health or lack thereof, but pretty much everything that we talk about here is metaphysical. So metaphysically, what does water mean? I do like to start by building a little bit of a foundation and what water means for me in my life. I am a water sign, so I'm very drawn to the water. I'm very drawn to water life, specifically dolphins. But when you think of water or when you look at water, it can be so many different things. And we're going to touch on some of those today. But the first thing I think of is reflection and possibly a mirror, especially because I am a water sign and so many of us are water signs. It can be a reflection of how we're feeling, of what we're putting out into the world, what we're receiving as well. So water can be a mirror. Water can be flowing of an emotional state or damming of an emotional state, damming up emotions, or waterfall of emotions. We could play metaphors all day long, but I feel like diving deep into the ocean of consciousness is probably where we're going to go today. What do you think?
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, what did they say? 80–90% of our bodies are water. And so is the planet. I think it's a bit of a misnomer that we refer to her as Earth. I think she's actually Oceania.
Yeah.
So I think water, first and foremost, it's essential to life. There can be no life without water. If we didn't have water in us and on this planet, life couldn't exist. So that tells us already that it's foundational, it's fundamental, it's so important. And in spiritual terms, in consciousness terms, in quantum terms, water has been referred to as the prima mater, which basically means the prime mother, because it's the source of all life. So why was water the prime mother? Why not fire? Why not air? Why is water so pivotal? And it's because understanding how life transforms and transmutes through its various stages and its various phases, water is the element that shows us all that. Because water is the only element that can exist in every state. From a physics point of view, water can be gas. We can't see it, we can't touch it, but very often we could smell a gaseous vapor. Water can be liquid, and as such, it often represents and is connected to our emotions and the flow of those emotions. Water can be a solid, as in ice. And what happens, spiritually speaking, and in terms of consciousness, when that gets solidified, or the correct term being calcified, as opposed to crystallized like it would be in its liquid form in water. But water is also the ether. Water is also that invisible net of a substance that holds all the quantum potentials and all the metaphysical possibilities, all that energy busy forming itself is held in the ether, and that is water. And then even higher than that, water is also plasma. And we're starting to understand the way in which we can and do use plasma in plasma screens, crystals in our devices. A crystal is nothing more than crystallized water. And the reason why it makes our devices and our technology work is because it holds memory. And that is water's primary function, is that it holds memory. So when we are remembering, what we're connecting to is water. Because science has proven that we don't hold our memories inside our own physical brain. We hold the connection potential to a memory inside our physical brain. And so we access it in a realm outside of our brains, and our antennas connect to it. And the memory is held for us within the cosmic waters. So it is so important to understand not only what water means in all its different aspects, whether you're looking at it from a physics point of view or a spiritual point of view, and also to understand how we move all those aspects of water through our bodies for our benefit, for our growth, for our healing, and for our life.
It's really profound. I am not up on the latest scientific studies, and to think that it's the water that holds the memory and not the DNA, or perhaps both, you know. When we go into generational beliefs or patterns that are held, is that DNA, or do we think that that's probably water now? This is fascinating to me. What is your understanding?
Well, like with most things, Laurie, it's both.
Yeah.
I think the gene can be switched on or off.
Yeah.
The gene is a potential. Epigenetics tells us that. So there's a component of the DNA, but what's going to switch it on or not, what's going to quote unquote trigger it or not, is going to be how we are flowing our own life energy in the form of water through our cells, because our cells are a water world. They exist within the water. The moment we don't have water in our cells, we're dehydrated, we're going to die. So the whole process is being carried by water. Our blood splits into the cells and the water. And it's this beautiful liquid gold when we do that. So like with most things, everything works together. So it's not an either or. But what we can access when we connect to all the various properties of water is the part that's important for us to understand, because that's where the alchemy lies. That is the ultimate physics, is how to use this incredible substance that can change its state in order to shift our own state into a state that we would prefer.
And let's talk about that a little bit. Of course, I think a lot of us want to use water to rinse away that which does not serve. But also, when we bring water into our body, or when we dip into water, we can use that with intent, right? We can, with every sip of water, with every drop of water, we can use our power of intent to bring that into our bodies. But also, you know, again, if you soak in a tub and you're adding minerals perhaps to the tub, you can use the tub as an intent, right? Intent to heal,
Very much so.
intent to create, like you said, alchemize. So let's expand on that a little bit. How beautiful is that?
Well, water is programmable.
Right.
Water is programmable because it holds memory. And again, I come back to the crystal can charge up the device because it's programmable. The water in our bottles are programmable. We program it with intent. I can tell my water, I can program it to be healing to my body. The water itself will already be what it innately is, but now it can be even more empowered by the fact that I intend for it to be healing to my body, and it will achieve that for me. So Things literally become the living waters as they flow in us when we add that intent to it. So yes, that's the reason why we are so highly programmable as well, because we are 80 or 90% water, and that's what we're programming. We're programming how we flow the energy through us in the form of water. And it's the water in and through all of us that holds that memory. And that's what we can rewrite with
I love that.
consciousness, with awareness, and with intent.
I love the phrase living water. I'd absolutely love that. And this is not, metaphysical woo-woo. This is scientifically proven that water does hold memory. We photograph water, right? There are multiple images of water molecules that are completely different from one another depending on the intent of the word, right? So this is absolutely something that is provable, that has been done, and absolutely we can do this to, again, enhance our lives, to alchemize our bodies, ourselves, our lives. And
People can experiment with this for themselves. It's amazing. If you take a picture that you really like, a simple picture, so a rose or an angel, stand your glass of water on that picture just for a couple of minutes, 2 minutes, and then freeze it.
yeah,
And that perfect image will be frozen into the top little layer of ice that forms on that water.
yeah,
The water will hold the memory just from having stood on a 2D image.
yeah.
And that is without us intentionally telling it to do so. It's amazing. It's absolutely incredible. So I encourage people, if this is new to them, to go and experience this, go and experiment with this for yourself. It's fascinating.
It really is. It really is fascinating when we have the power to do something like this for free. It is completely at everybody's disposal to, uh, well, to the sky is the limit, right? The sky is absolutely the limit to what we can do for ourselves and for our cells and for our lives just with using water and
Yes,
intent and love and
yes,
joy and all of the things, right?
yeah. And very often, a lot of people, first of all, don't drink enough water just because in our culture we're always glugging, we're always glugging something else, coffee or a carbonated beverage or even a fruit or a veggie juice, anything but just good old water.
Mhm.
And so many people have an aversion to water that they don't even really understand. But if you understand the nature of water, that it holds memory, then you also understand that very often it is linked to a trauma that you're not necessarily consciously aware of. So for people who believe in things like past lives, it could be a past life trauma that is still held within the cellular memory, or it could be an actual trauma linked to water. Could have been something like, not being able to catch your breath from being underwater,
Mm.
or being put into a really hot bathtub, or nearly drowning, something terrible like that perhaps you don't even consciously recall. And that can give you an aversion to something as simple as drinking it. But again, the water is the cure for itself there, because that is what will enable that trauma to be flushed out. If you will take the water into your body in as tiny capacity as you can manage and actually program it to allow that trauma, whatever it might be, you don't even have to consciously know, but to allow that trauma to move through your body, then naturally there will be less of an aversion to water itself. And also for people who might struggle to make a connection to the energetic reality of life, to get beyond the material and the physical, the empirical evidence. Water is the most incredible connector to flowing with that energy. Something as simple as holding your hands under running water can cleanse you energetically. A shower. So many people get their best ideas in the shower. Why? Because water is the one that is bringing that information through as you're cleansing your energy field and your body. The water is actually bringing that inspiration through to you because you're connecting. So it is a truly wonderful and a blessed substance. And the more of it we can bring into our bodies, the better.
As somebody who can attest to all of that, water aversion, not drinking enough water, and being incredibly inspired in the shower. Anybody watching this, that this might be really new information. This might be really, what? It is absolutely true that you can have a water aversion and really not understand why, but just taking baby steps, like Liss said, even if it's just a sip a couple of times a day to start, just start. Love yourself enough to just start, knowing that that aversion is there right now, but it doesn't always have to be. It can shift very quickly if you allow the flow to take place, the flow of the healing to take place. And my goodness, the shower, I call it my portal. So I know that there are so many people that can relate to that, and how beautiful and what a gift water can be in our lives, if we allow it, right? If we allow that flow and be one with that flow.
And to, once again, like everything else in life, to make it a conscious choice. To say, you know, right now, just be honest, I don't love water. Right now, I have an aversion that I don't understand to water, but I am making the conscious choice because I know that this is good for every aspect of my being. I'm making the conscious choice to learn to love water. And I'm asking my body to assist me with that process. And it will. It will. Whatever needs to be let go of will be let go of. And that beautiful cleansing will come in. It's like, I read an analogy many years ago. I think it was Deepak Chopra, but I stand under correction about that. We said, you know, if your car was dirty, it wouldn't occur to you to go and wash it with a pizza. And I've just, whoever said that, sorry if I've butchered the credit, but that has stuck with me forever. It's like, if we want to feel good and we want to feel clean and we want to feel fresh and shiny and be full of vigor and vitality, we're not going to get it from a pizza. Now, pizza can give us other things. Pizza can make us feel spoiled and indulged and it's just lovely, and that's fine. But if what we want to do is literally clean this vessel and clear it out and experience more of the fullness of life, only water holds that. Only water holds that.
I love a good analogy, and it's so true. We would never cleanse with a pizza. That's just not how it's rinsed away. And how that vitality is brought in, right? It's not so much the rinsing away, but the vitality of water, the frequency that we might enhance our water with is just not found in a pizza. As much as I love pizza, it's just not really.
Me too. But the fact it has so many other benefits too. If health is not a strong enough motivator, beauty, agelessness. If you don't want wrinkles and you don't want, you know, that almost thinning of water. Water is what's going to plump up the skin and keep you looking young. Something like blood pressure, which so many people struggle with. If you will just make your blood less thick, just literally dilute it a little, then the heart doesn't have to work so hard to pump it around your body because it's thinner. It flows easier. Something like weight loss or avoiding weight gain. Water is your best friend. When I see people who are morbidly obese and they can't lose that weight no matter how much, it's this monumental struggle. 90% of the time, what they have in common is that they are not water drinkers. Now, that's not the only problem.
Right.
But solving the fact that you don't drink water is going to help the body with so many functions, because an individual like that is actually ill. We just don't have an official diagnosis for it.
Mhm.
But their entire metabolic system is trying to run on pizza,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
can't. It
And water
can't.
in and of
It needs
itself is an actual detoxifier. That
exactly.
it's really that simple, that if you want to cleanse the toxicity out of your cells and out of your body, the first place really does need to be water. And it's super simple, really easy
Yeah,
solution.
yeah. And it's a beautiful substance. And I don't know. For me, it's hard to understand how people wouldn't want more of it. And it's essential to our ascension.
Yeah.
We are requiring it more and more and more as these higher frequencies are coming in. We're requiring more and more and more of it.
And let's explain why. Because as we ascend, things can get knocked loose, right? And we want to rinse that out, but also to usher that new energy in. Yes, water and energy go hand in hand.
Yes, and it's also helping us to ground.
Okay.
As we
Yeah.
are hit by these new higher frequencies, they are extremely photonic.
Yeah.
So being in the mind, being in the electrical frequency is too much. So we have to ground more in our heart. And water is one of the many things that helps move us from the mind and into the heart to better ground these high frequencies that are coming. It's actually adding the magnetism that requires that energy to settle in the physical body. Because sleeplessness and headaches and overthinking and overwhelm, those are all signs of being too much in the mind when the photonic energy is too high.
And it is very
So
high.
water is helping us to come from the heart.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Until we meet again, may you be abundantly blessed.
And drink lots of water.
Drink lots of water. Thank you for connecting with Light for Life. If you appreciate reminders, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you can receive those notifications. If you would like to work with one of us, you can find our contact information in the About section of this channel.
Yes, thank you for connecting with Light for Life. Please share your insights, your questions, and your comments with us in the comment section below. We value your feedback. And we really hope that we will see you for our next episode. We upload one every Thursday. Until then, bye-bye and be joyful.
Until we connect again, we send you love and light.